They always laugh right after the intro. And so I'm going to kind of frown when they laugh at me. I can knock hard because no worries, I'll be quick. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be here with a couple of your neighbors. I don't know if you recognize anybody like in the cul-de-sac. The winter was warm.
Hey Dave, can you hold just for a second? Okay, thanks Dave. Bye. Oop. I'm sorry, what's going on?
I'm sorry. The winter was warm, so everybody's been getting a little mice, you know.
You know what? You're the first one in a long time that's noticed that little guy. He's been there for 20-some years.
He's an old mouse.
And it's funny, some people notice him and a lot of people don't. Congratulations.
I have been in the rodent department for 5 years, so it's literally my job to identify mice. So I've been kind of trained with the Tetris effect to find signs of mice.
Oh. So who are you with? What are you doing?
I'm Dan the Bug Man. Franklin is Indiana's oldest pest company. We've been here since the Civil War.
Oh, they had pests back then?
They had ticks. We did the
I'm sorry, this one I do have to catch. I'm sorry.
Okay, I can swing back by because there's something I did want to show you up there too. You got some stuff going in.
Oh yeah, okay. That one. Okay, so what do you notice?
Well, just so you know, I'm not pulling your leg.
Wow, look at that.
That's the founder in 1860.
Rats.
The U.S. Army used us for the mice. But obviously that's just chipmunks hiding. Yep. But up here, your eave joint has it's really big gap. Just so you know, you got a really big opening. And there's squirrels chewing on the fascia board.
Yep. Actually, has raccoons. And actually, you know what?
You are so smart.
They, this house was empty for about 18 months. And everybody and their brother moved in. And we had a raccoon nest because anyway, long story, but there was tons of critters in here, dead cats, we had it all. But there was a grass hut for raccoons in there that they loved it. I mean, they were like, it took bags and bags of stuff to get it out.
Wow.
And then they kept coming back, the family trying to get back up into the, back home again. And that's what all the digging was. They'd come back and they'd dig. But I just had them come in and put all this new siding on. And those guys ripped out. And there was one up there. They just ripped out. I had some flashing.
Flashing.
The roofing guys come in and flash underneath those.
That's important.
And that one's been removed too. Dang it.
Oh, is something happening up there?
Yeah, there was one up there too. I had flashing in all these undercuts, because that's where I thought, I actually had bats for a while. Well, I had 6 giant, let's see, we took out 6 60-foot pines that were here. 2 here,
wow,
and 3 over there, and a gigantic one over there that needs to be replaced. And that was they were coming in through the bathroom vents is what I finally figured out. You ever have them do that one?
I've been doing this about 20 years, so I've seen quite a bit of stuff.
So I put little traps over all those up in the roof so they can't. But then we haven't seen any around again.
That's good. Well, definitely make sure you get something over that hole, because.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, they put that. Actually, they didn't. Yeah, they did that one trim board.
This house is cool, but I like that house better.
Yeah.
That's like my dream house.
That's our lake house that doesn't appreciate.
It doesn't appreciate. Well, I appreciate your lake house.
It's really nice. Thank you.
That I want to have like a doomsday vehicle, and that seems like a doomsday vehicle.
That'd be a good one.
Just like mowing through cars and stuff.
That'd be a good one.
All the zombies are running.
We got 1,000 watts of solar up there.
Wow.
That's designed to boondock. That's designed to.
That's a doomsday vehicle.
Yeah.
Do you have an underground tunnel that pops up into the bottom of it?
Yeah. No. Now, yeah. Darn it. That's when I might start doing that.
Don't tell anybody if you did. You know, right? So we keep an eye and inspect and make sure nothing crazy is going to happen, like the bats or raccoons. That's just included in because we have the knowledge of it. But we'll be here every 3 months. We remove the spider webs, the wasps, the mud daubers, checking for bees and carpenter bees. These mulch beds act like an incubator for the bugs.
Yep.
And so we've been doing this so long, we just know when to put the products before the bugs so we don't get ants climbing in, or we'll get a lot of things sneaking up along here, like the mice. But we're just doing everything for really. Oh, you had a bald-faced hornet right here?
What?
You've had a bald-faced hornet before right here? Did you knock it down?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We've been getting a lot of those bald-faced hornets. That's something we would detect and kind of make sure you don't have, you know? Are you the one that's been keeping the bugs away, or?
Yeah, because I got a big salt shaker, I call it. I put
salt
in
shaker?
I put in some Oracle bug killer, and I just go around,
Yeah.
especially in the fall and in the spring, and that kind of keeps everybody out.
Yeah. I met this guy. I'm not saying that it's like, I don't like to even talk. It happened yesterday, so I'm just telling you the story. He lives right in this cul-de-sac, and he lived in a big house he lives right down this big, and he had this big bump on his shoulder, and I didn't notice it, and he was like Roundup. He's like, I'm in the lawsuit. Did you hear about the lawsuit?
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, I got to get this thing removed. And he says he actually sells chemicals for a living, like the products that we use. And but he still does it himself. I was like, why'd you do it yourself? He had a big house too. I was like, it's pretty cheap. Like, for us to take care of everything so you don't have to worry about it and we come back for free. If you call me, can I go in? I can't see this. But typically if you call me in the office, how many square feet is your house?
36-ish.
Wow, this is a big house. You got a big backyard too? Man, what's your secret to life? I gotta learn a couple things. You must not do pest control. You must be doing something smarter than that.
No, there's always, that's a good, nothing wrong with that. All my friends are ag friends.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have sold. Actually, a really good friend died from Roundup. This was before they reformulated it.
Yeah.
Now it's not supposed to be as dangerous, but yeah. Matter of fact, I had a 5-gallon that I bought. I got from a co-op of the old bad stuff, and I used to use it all the time, weeds and whatever, before we moved here. And finally, I thought after all that, I said, I better get rid of that. So I took it down to the pad. I said, we'll just throw this away. And I'm going, I don't know if you want to do that with this one. I said, this is like the really bad stuff, like, I think you better, like.
You had like this crazy pump. It was nasty.
Hazmat type of stuff.
I don't know if you can see this because the sun, but typically if you call us, that first one's $350. After that, it's normally $89, but I don't know if you can see it.
Yep,
it's only $59 for the first one, and we would take everything off of your plate for just the $59. And then, spider webs and bugs are pretty easy. Getting rid of that little pill bug guy, not a problem. But it's just making sure the bigger stuff doesn't sideswipe you, and then you think you're saving 50, but then you end up losing 3,000 because the raccoon got back in and you didn't notice it. But we'll be out here tomorrow. I would just need a first last name. We can take it off your plate.
Oh, I'm not interested in your service. I mean, I do all this stuff myself. I don't mind doing it. I mean, it's kind of what. But what I do have a question for. I keep catching mice. I mean, I was just like, this is so weird. Now my neighbor used to catch them. He was burning corn, and so he knew he was a old farmer, so he knew he was going to get them. But every once in a while, I've been getting them. And
What do you mean you've been getting them?
Catching them.
Where?
I trap them.
Where?
In the garage.
Yeah, because I wish I knew a little bit less about rodents. I do not aspire to be the rodent whisperer. But a lot of times we'll see these little corners be chewed right here,
Yep.
just like yours. And I've done this 1,000 times, so I almost knew I would find that. The same thing happens right here. This little piece gets chewed. And so rodents, typically, like if you were to add on like specialty stuff, that like rodent control, it would normally be another 300 on that first one. But it's gonna be, well, it'd be 300 a year. It's gonna be $0 extra for you because you're my best friend today. And we're not gonna get married and do this forever, but a 1-year cycle is gonna be enough to eliminate your current populations. So next year, ortho, home defense, or whatever carcinogen you wanna use, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. You can go back to using that, you know. Those, they pay out pretty well on those lawsuits, so you'll get pretty well set up.
Good.
Like, I started buying some after I heard that and just spraying them myself, hoping
it's not worth it.
hoping it's my retirement plan.
It's not worth it. That's not a good retirement.
I'm not smart like you. I got to figure something out. But for the mice, we would definitely do some monitoring stations here. It's a lot more than just putting a bait box and then thinking it's solved. The problem is there's pheromone urine trails right here established, and it's oily, so it's going to stay a long time. And so we need to keep control of it, and we'll come back for free infinity amount of times. It's really finding where they live, and if their nest isn't within 300 feet of your house, then it pretty much stops becoming a problem. But let me ask you, do you put out any bird seed?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's a problem. I actually moved it out. My feeder now is way out. I put it out by that far bed.
the mice are tiny, and their holes they go in are even like tinier. Your neighbor down the road, he didn't quite believe me, and that's his prerogative. He doesn't have to believe me. I don't know anything about this stuff. He had a tiny little hole in the bottom of one of his like little door frames, and then he said squirrels were chewing on it, but it wasn't squirrels, it was the raccoons like you're talking about, because it was claw marks. And they were trying to dig into there, and that little mouse hole is about this big. So a lot of times why you'll get raccoons is because a mouse will scurry in somewhere, and raccoons are like cats, so they're going to try to find a way to it. They'll get in and hunt them all out of the attic. Cool, no mice, but now you have a raccoon in your attic. Raccoons have their poop is the worst poop. Well, bat poop is also very terrible, but raccoon poop has a brain worm that you can get in it from breathing it in. So not the best thing to have around your house, because your health is worth way more than your house, and it's even worth more than that cool house, you know? So I don't know. I'm poor, so $59 is a lot to me, you know? I can feed my kids for a week with that. But in the end, it's not that much, like, especially if it means like you're gonna spend the money anyways, and you're gonna spend more money anyways. We would do a free inspection, find all the entry points. If they're lower level lying, we'll seal them for free. Just from my experience, I'll tell you, that front bay window where they're probably getting in, it's probably also this back bay window, because they like to be kind of easy. But you said you're only catching them in the garage. That's easy. That's a carpenter bee. Woodpeckers, we'll try to find those in here and they'll peck on it. But I mean, that's why you're getting them in, is because you got bird seed, which attracts them. The next thing they look for is shelter. You got water sitting right there. If I was a mouse, I'd live here too.
Nice place to live.
Yeah. The only thing is, though, you just don't want to get them into the structure, because, yeah, I mean.
Well, when I usually catch them, here's my trap over here. I catch that one. I haven't caught for 4 months, and the other day there was one in there, and I'm going, wow. Why did all of a sudden 4 months later?
Well, I'll tell you a secret. Those are really ineffective. They're not that good at catching mice.
Oh,
so
really?
If you caught one with that, like if you catch a mouse in a trap, like, good job. I'm very proud of you. Like, the biggest bait boxes, I hate them. They kill them. That's fine. We use the most environmentally friendly ones, but a bait station's gonna take care of 50. Like, if you're trying to catch your mice population one by one with that, like, You better use a BB gun on a bull. Like,
No.
I don't know.
Now, the only bad about the bait trap thing is you know, the mice eat it, they get out of here, they die, then the hawk comes by and picks them up and eats them, and he dies. And so,
Yeah. From the federal government, they've restricted a lot of stuff. They don't even let a lot of the public buy most things anymore. We use the most environmentally friendly ones too, and poison's our last resort. First is environmental. So it's going to be a team effort. That bird seed's awesome. If we can get it 300 feet from the house,
yeah.
it's going to make a big difference. If we can block little entry points, it's going to make a huge difference. If we can put a bait station that's more of a repellent and a monitoring station than like poison for 12 generations of animals, then we can monitor, and with our 100 years of experience, we guarantee the results. Like, we guarantee the results or your money back. If we got to come 3 times in 1 month, we're like, that was annoying, right? And we're like, okay, here's your 59 bucks back. Maybe we'll get it next month. But we just know over time we have a 100% success rate. And so, you know, this first year we're going to lose money for sure. Next year, if we have things under control and you want to keep it that way, hopefully we'll recoup a little bit. But, you know, pest control money's made when someone stays with us for 3 to 5 years. And so if you're not happy, you're not going to keep us for 35 years. If your results don't go away, you're not going to keep us for 3 or 5 years. So we just asked to let us try it out for that first year so we can kind of show you what we're good at. If you want to play copycat after that, cool. But it's just it's a gamble, it's a risk, you know. But as long as if you have a problem and he's my customer, I'm never going to be able to solve my customer's problem if I can't solve their problem. So we do a lot for really, really cheap. And then plus it's marketing. Rather than giving Google $200, if we give you $200 and you tell him we're good, and then we solve your problem. We've got a little bit longer term gameplay, but I don't know, it's been working for 100 years, so we're the oldest.
Yeah.
So we'll give you that rodent service for free. Is there anything else that you deal with? I noticed the carpenter bee. I wouldn't want that.
I got a trap for them. That's been doing pretty well.
They do work well. I'd recommend keeping it. We'll just, same thing, monitor for any damage. Make sure the woodpeckers aren't coming in after them and doing more damage. Replacing a fascia board, I don't know how much that stuff costs, but...
Well, they're going to have fun trying to peck into that stuff.
Yeah.
That hardy board. That stuff is pretty robust. That's why they were getting in up there a little bit. I mean, the T111 is pretty old stuff. And they were starting to get in there. We thought we'd get rid of that. We just did this siding. We placed all the old cedar that was kind of, the bird boxes were falling apart and stuff. So
did you replace all of it, or do you still have some cedar lying around?
Boy, we still have some. I mean, you'd have to take, there's a lot here of cedar. But just the stuff that was, like all the birdhouse ends were all replaced, and the top pieces were all replaced.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get up there, knock down those wasp nests. Not that it's super important, but we'll protect all of the stuff that's remaining so you don't get more of these carpenter bees going in there and doing damage or stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know if any of this makes sense but so we did the rodent, we did that carpenter bee one. Carpenter ants is another reason why those have been getting in there. Carpenter bees are $200 a year to warranty that and take care of it. Did you have a dog?
No.
Okay, carpenter ants, but
no fleas.
No fleas. That's good. So yeah, I mean, just 59 bucks tomorrow, so you're gonna have to take out a second mortgage to be able to afford that one.
Yeah.
And then you're probably gonna have to eat 4 days a week rather than 7 days a week to be able to afford the other 59 a month, but it'll be worth it. Is there like a good email you wanted me to send everything to?
No, because I'm, like I say, Dan, I appreciate your effort and your knowledge is good, I can tell, but I'm really, I think I'm okay. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So.
What's the game plan for the mice?
Keep doing what I'm doing, because it used to be when I first got them, I was getting them all the time. And I bait them with seed in there too, so seed and that gel. So
yeah.
I mean, they're really liking it. And then actually I found where those guys were going, and they were actually going up in the corner of this brick.
Perfect.
And I came home one night from a walk, and just out of the corner of my eye I saw something scamper up, and I didn't know those guys did that. And so I came back out and I was looking at I took my flashlight and I could see his little beady little eyes looking at me, and I'm going, son of a gun, you little rat,
Yeah.
mouse.
Little
And
mouse.
so plugged the hole up there because they were getting up. I was catching some up in the attic. First, besides the raccoons, we had mice. We had everything here going. This thing was like a wild.
Are you planning on selling this house someday? Or,
Someday.
Like, we work with this big realtor guy. His name's Dick Richwine. He's a big guy over in Geist. And we work with a lot of the big houses because when they go to sell them, they find a lot of mice or wood destroying stuff, and then kind of becomes a problem in the sale of it. So we step in to like remedy it. Sometimes they don't remedy it, but they'll just kind of rather than paying us to solve it, they'll just take the cost of it plus damages off the equity.
Yep.
And so I wouldn't be such a pushy jerk if I hadn't seen so much and kind of believed in the value of like the $59 and what it's giving you, you know? Did any of it seem like it would be any value, or it just seems like it'd be a waste of money?
Well, if I had right now I don't think I don't have the need. I mean, I don't think I have a serious problem here. I'm just catching a couple things, and I live next to a ravine which fills up, and I mean, this thing is like, we got everything, foxes, we got everybody running around, deer running down along here.
Do you ever go out here? Are you kind of maintaining the property?
Mm-hmm.
Are you maintaining the property?
Oh yeah, yep.
Because, I mean, if you call me, another thing that you might want to do is might want to get the yard treated for the fleas, ticks, and chiggers, and that's going to be another $200 a year as well. So my typical monthly for a package like I'm talking can be up in the $150 range, and because you're my best friend, we'll be doing it for $49 for just 1 year. Just do it. If you haven't had a professional for 30 years, let's let a professional come do a little doctor work and kind of deep clean it, just because.
So, Dan, I do have a question. I'm gonna go back to your bait boxes. What do you guys use that's environmentally safe?
Brodificom.
What's it called?
That's the active ingredient. It's called Brodificom. It's more of a, it's more of a blood thinner, so it's not a poison. It's just kind of like aspirin.
Right. And that's they bleed out.
Yeah, but
So,
they use a different dilution of it. They use a lot lower dilution, and so like it's like almost nothing. But if you have consistent activity, it'll do it. But we're more using it to monitor and like maybe take care of a little bit. And
so let's see if the hawks eat those, they're not getting enough to take.
there's like no
There's a
way.
short half-life to it.
Yeah, it's used, like it's metabolized by them, and that's what makes it even work. Like, and there's no way like they can eat enough. I was just looking at what, I don't know.
Ground squirrels.
Ground squirrels?
Yep.
Like, are you talking about
Chipmunks.
chipmunks?
Yeah, he just ran out. I catch them and I give them swimming lessons,
Oh yeah?
and they don't swim very well.
Well, that's cool. Same type of thing with the mice. We'll make like kind of monitor, make sure they're not like nesting close, because those will do similar type of stuff. That's an interesting question you asked though. Like, why did you ask about the bait boxes?
Well, I'm just curious. You said they're environmentally safe, and I'm going, okay, so what's environmentally safe mean? That
Well, and the
that
big part of it,
kills the mouse, but won't kill the hawk.
well, big part of it is a lot of times we don't use them. A lot of times we don't have to use them, or we'll use them for a time to get control, but then our eyes are monitoring for signs of them, and we'll use like just monitoring stations in the garage that are no bait, poison, or anything. But a lot of it is knowledge. If you know the knowledge, like it's like fixing a car. I know nothing. You can never fix a car, but a mechanic could come in and hit one pipe and no chemicals, products, or anything fix my car. You know, so we've been doing this for 160 years. We've learned one or two things, like,
I hope so. You wouldn't have been around for that long.
right? And that's why most people will say, we've had customers for forever, 30 years and stuff, because we do a good job. Have you ever used a professional, or like, because a lot of times I find people just, I don't know, it's probably not like a money thing. Like $49 probably isn't gonna, like, your wife's not gonna get mad, or you're not gonna like, oh my gosh, I need to redo my budget. But sometimes people just like doing it, or I don't know, like maybe help me out. I'll leave you alone because I'm a pushy jerk, but help me for the next guy who loves catching the mice himself and just kind of waiting for something to pop up big enough to call me for. How would I get past that on the next guy?
I don't know. I think most people don't want to mess with it anymore. You know, I cut my own grass. I do everything. I fertilize. I do what we maintain all of this out here. We don't hire anybody.
Yeah.
And we're just used to doing it. We like doing it. So,
That's fair.
you know, maybe a few years when I'm kind of like winding down and retired, I'll like, you know what, I'm gonna have someone come do that.
So maybe that's 10 years from now. If we eliminate the current population and kind of teach you a couple tricks of the trade, after this year, you're probably going to be able to push off that life of you doing it 15 years or 20 years, because like if you let it keep building up with what you're currently doing, it's going to keep building up. These winters have been way worse than in the past. I don't know if you'd agree, but because the winters have been worse, the bugs have been worse. So the typical ortho home defense that people use, it's just not giving you the same results, and it never will, because it's a repellent kill on contact. It's never going to get rid of ants. If you don't use it in the right times of the season, it's never going to track into the stink bugs, the pill bugs, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I usually don't put anything back here because we had a dog, and now my son has a dog, and we have a grandchild, and it's just, you know, back here running around, rather not have anybody exposed to the stuff.
Well, that's 100% true. I've got 2 dogs and 4 kids, but don't believe me at all. We definitely have been getting more fleas and ticks. Google.
Yeah, because of warm weather. Yep, I got you. Yep.
And so if you've got all that wildlife running through here, no one protects them from fleas and ticks, and so they'll drop it off.
Yep.
And if the only things coming through here that smell like food to the fleas and ticks are your grandkids or your son's dog, the only thing they're going to latch onto is your socks and shoes, me.
Yep.
I get it all the time because I'm on people's property. Does what I'm saying sound crazy? Like,
No, you're doing a good job. Sorry.
okay, well, you convinced me. Let's just do it then. Fine, we'll get it done. Okay. What's a good phone number to remind you when we're coming out?
I don't want to give that to you. You don't need that information.
Well, how am I supposed to know? How are you supposed to know when we're coming if we don't call you beforehand?
I don't need you to come out.
You don't need me to?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll do the mice. That's $300. We'll do the yard for fleas and ticks. That's $200. We'll do the carpenter using the carpenter ants. That's another $200. We'll sweep up the spider webs. Oh yeah, that's the good part. Does your wife like? I mean, your outside's clean. Is the inside of the house clean too? Like, no, it's a big side.
No, it's you just gotta work. You can imagine inside.
I don't know if these vegetables came from your garden. Every once in a while, we'll get little pantry pests like fruit flies, drain flies, Indian mill moths, house flies, and so we're not going to make it like a nuclear holocaust in there or anything, but we're going to use our knowledge again to inspect, put out a couple monitoring stations, and then just do a good thorough clean on the inside. The mice are going to get into your house right here.
Yep. And that happened. I gotta pull that brick was up tight. Well, actually, it's called chipmunks underneath there. I redid this section over here last summer. I had all dropped down. I got that all taken care of. And then in between getting all the siding and new gutters put on, that huge rainstorm that came on a Sunday night that flooded this thing. Anyway, water, that whole sank. So no, it's.
And chipmunks do that. They will.
They do.
They'll mess up your foundation.
Those little guys, they were getting up underneath this board, and so there's a hole.
Yeah.
All right.
Is this slab of concrete connected to the foundation?
Yeah. Yep. And so the raccoons. Well, we had a possum in the basement when we first got this place, and what they had done is dug a hole underneath. Well, this deck didn't have, the patio didn't have a skirt on it. They got underneath there, and underneath that step, there was just a place that they could get up into. It's just amazing they find this shit. I mean, it's just like, really? How do you do this? Anyway, they came in, and so I ended up filling up that whole thing with pea gravel. So then now they can't, we're higher than that. They can't get in. Then I boarded that all up. Put my son underneath there. He was like 8 years, no, he was like 6 years old. And I said, crawl underneath there and find out if there's a hole underneath there. What's instead? Can I get like my hockey helmet on or something to protect me? I said, yeah, good idea. So he crawled underneath there with his hockey helmet on. I said, yeah, there's a hole.
Nice.
Kurt, I don't know if it matters, but yesterday I cleaned a rodent scat off the front porch bench. It's a little, it was bigger than the bat guano, but not a whole lot. But I wiggled those front lights because I thought the bats got
Like back in
behind
those?
but they weren't loose.
Oh.
But something was out there.
If only someone had 100 years of experience.
Yeah, yeah.
So the bats are gonna sneak into your attic right up there where it's been getting worn out. Something's getting in and out of there, otherwise it wouldn't be so worn. So definitely have your son put on his hockey helmet and climb through the attic and don't fall through. But that's gonna cost you about $10,000 if you treated it like if you solved the problem that's gonna cause with the guano and the...
Well, actually, see that board up there they replaced? All these were sealed and caulked really well.
Well, that
And
sucks.
I can see we got an issue. They didn't replace it like they should have. They'll have to be coming back. Well, they're coming back out to paint, so that's
Good thing I came and made it to your attention so we
Actually,
didn't...
the first one in the front, that was a good observation. I appreciate that.
I've been on your property for 10 minutes and I've already noticed $10,000 worth of savings. So when we sweep the eaves, what people love is we remove these egg sacs, because if you don't, each of those has 150 babies. These are called oothicas. When they hatch, the babies don't know where they're going, so they'll go anywhere. The same as the mice, they'll sneak into these little tiny crevices.
Yep.
And then, I wonder if something bigger, because I don't know why that's all chewed up, like kind of, I don't know. But
When they tore that wood off.
the mice is probably going in there. These little spiders are probably going in there. The mice are probably, well, the wasps are going right there. Seems like your wife's interested and she wants to do it. We haven't even talked about the worst problem of all, the thing that costs people more money than any other pest in the world. We haven't even talked about it yet.
Which one's that?
I don't know, you have to find out yourself.
Okay.
But when it costs you $10,000.
Okay.
It's really tiny. It's a small one. I'm sure you could guess if you thought about it. I'm sure you could guess. I haven't seen it. Well, I saw two conducive things. One, this corner right here. Two, if this foundation sinks and you get any type of cracks. Oh, maybe this is it right here actually. Maybe I didn't even, maybe you found it. Oh no, that's a blue wasp. He's cute. I'll finish out this way, so if I find anything else that'll cost you $10,000,
Okay.
I'll just send you a bill for the inspection. A cool little nest. That little guy up there, bagworm guy.
Where's my carpet at? Yes.
Pretty good. Have you guessed what the last issue is?
No.
So you'll definitely want to put a monitoring station for rodents around here, because you have a natural condition that's going to attract them, which is water. It's cold in the hot summer, and they drink it, and then they'll find ways to build a house around it, like these little tiny holes.
Yep, that when I just saw that when I was inspecting their work, and I was get a little mortar and fill that in.
Just make sure when
I
you
wonder how
do.
they did that one actually,
Just make sure when you do it, there's no hornets or honeybees in there.
because they'll go.
I don't know. They probably just die, but that's the other thing we're inspecting for is we get a lot of honeybees, we get a lot of hornets into structures, and you get a lot of bald-faced hornets like the one in your house. If you have grandkids running around your property, like I do, like I've got kids, we get tons of bald-faced hornets around here, and I already saw evidence of one on your property, like I showed you. If your grandkid runs into a bush and there's a bald-faced hornet nest, I'll show you pictures.
Oh, I know they are.
If you go like this and there's a bald-faced hornet in there, like,
It's all over. They're huge. Those are really cool.
let's just do it for your grandkids.
They're very cool. You're pointing all the stuff I need to work on. You got vines down here?
Yeah, the last guy asked, what could I do to help you? He said, show me the bugs. Show me the problem. This is where you're going to get the biggest problem.
Yeah, I don't like this at all. I keep coming in here and cutting it off the...
If I find the big problem, is this your bathroom area?
No.
If I find the big problem I was talking about, will you do it? if the big problem's hiding right here, because they like corners, because they kind of scavenger for stuff and they poke up looking for things. But corners funnel them, especially when you have moist conditions like this. What year is this house built?
84.
84. Well, if this plant can grow into your house like that. Did you see that when I did that?
Yeah.
I wonder if the other little guy, you know what it is. I mean, I know you know what I'm looking for. Oh my gosh, dude. These house, 84. So this house is 40 years old. I'm just trying to make sure you don't have a, it's a little bit dry right now. And their season is from March until June. They create this dirt that has a certain consistency to it. It's kind of like clay, but not too clayed, and you'll get little holes in it. This is kind of don't like it. Man. First off, this soil's really high. I'm just having fun at this point. More stuff going in. Okay, well, termites. If only someone had the knowledge to look for the conditions and then they did it for free every time they were here every 3 months. We wouldn't even charge you any extra. We wouldn't even charge you another $2 a year for it. You would want to get your wife's opinion?
I'm sorry?
We want to get your wife's opinion?
Oh, she's just making note. She thought probably it was from that mouse.
Do we want to?
So, you know, one thing we had bats, we found the other day, these lamps over by the garage. One got bumped and was loose and wiggled it. And you know, wow, look at all the dirt coming out, and there's all this mouse and
Bat guano.
yep. Right, but
Good thing bats don't have rabies, and then if you even just touch one, you have to get a tetanus shot, a rabies shot, if you can't find the original bat to test if it had rabies. Good thing rabies has a fatality rate of like 100%. I'm just being a jerk at this point.
yeah, so anyway, all this is getting, so when they took this trim off, there's other trim on it, and this corner they broke off, so they're gonna, I've got some, they sort of gonna come out, we're gonna redo this corner, and then I'm gonna put trim back on it.
This is also a good place for termites. Do we want to see if your wife wants to do it? Maybe she'll cover the $49.
No, she won't. Dan, you've done a great job, but I'm just sorry.
I mean, I'm the one who feels like I'm failing. I'm leaving you with probably $100,000 worth of problems. I mean, you're just gonna pay for them as you go, like $10,000 this year, $10,000 next year.
Yeah.
If bats get in the attic, you're probably gonna want to get them out. And if you call someone to get them out, insurance does not cover it.
Yeah.
It'll cost anywhere from, you have to remove the insulation. Do not do it yourself if you want to, if you care about your health. But you currently have multiple spots with openings and you've already identified them on your property. You've already seen mice sneaking into the spot. Let's just do it. What's your name?
No, I'm not interested. Dan, well, thank you. You've done a good job. Oh, that's cool.
And if I gave you a card, you end up giving me batteries.
Oh, I think you get
Call me in 3 weeks and then
So do you have a helmet you wear on this thing?
Yeah.
Right there?
Okay. Sitting on my foot.
Have you fallen?
I've only one time, not 4 years. Fun. I don't know.
That's cool. How fast can you go now?
I got a couple days. I don't go fast enough.
How do you see some of these guys out on the flying and no. I never looked. I just see this body because we're cyclists, and like up front of the we go on the country ride and see these guys and going, they don't know what's like falling at 20 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour. And I just see these guys, you know, hanging on electric bikes. I'm not a big fan of electric bikes. So I said they should put a electric bike where you have to put in like 200 miles and they're going to give you like another 5 miles an hour. You see these people have probably never ride bikes before and they're going 25 miles an hour. And it's like, rabbit comes out in front of them, chipmunk, they try to avoid it, whatever.
Yeah, it was a dragonfly that got me. I was riding the dragonfly with it and I went to hit it.
Did you really? On this? You let it go all day?
2-mile range. I would literally go like all week. Rather than too long.
Who makes it?
I don't know. This guy's super old now. This bike is better guaranteed.
So how long is the battery? You say all day, but
It has a 50-mile range.
how many years is it?
We're gonna about 5 hours a day for 5 years. It's pretty impressive. I've been about a year, but then when I bought it was like 700, now they're like 3,000.
3,000?
Yeah. But the tires, it's gonna pop.
Oh yeah.
That's what's gonna kill me. Cause I always.
So how do you How do you put a tire on it? Can you take it out? Then you got 4 kids for it.
I got insurance. Until my wife's ready to talk to me someday.
Seems like a pretty nice guy, don't you think?
Try to be. Nice guys. I'm leaving. I've been spending way too long. I just been having fun with you. Help me out. 3 reasons why not to do it. So the next guy can kind of get past it.
He asked me that. Just like, I don't want to get this stuff. And if I ended up seeing a major problem that are out of control, then I would call you.
Okay. So you're like, oh well, if there's a problem, I'll find a solution. I mean, what about the like, hiring us will cost about $500 to remedy a small problem. Fixing the damage will cost like what's the rational financially? This is the best, most financially secure option. Guaranteed price, guaranteed result, money back guarantee for them. A guy named Ben said something or another. He said something about an answer, something's with a chain of another or something like that. Do you believe that? Do you believe that quote? It's worth $1 million. $1 million. What you gotta sell me. One last punch in the face just to help me understand why this is a fun idea.
Your personality sucks. How is that?
No, I don't. I have gotten that one actually before. I've said, well, I like it, but you're being way too pushy and persistent, and you kind of irk me, and so I don't want to buy from you. And I was like, get off me. So I'm trying not to be a jerk, but
No, you're fine.
sometimes it comes out. Okay, well, you'll see. Sometimes I'll have 3 balls and I'll be juggling. What were you
Here.
So who should I find out? Which neighbor do you like least and you can sit down with? I just don't have those times to
People have an idea yesterday, these guys. And these people, I don't know them.
next door.
They have someone that comes out and does that stuff on the road.
Move over?
A window.
They might be a yes.
It might be a yes. those people. Oh, really nice. Now you really got to know.
Dude, you look younger than me, man. I'm sure you're at least 3 years older than me.
Yeah, a couple. Oh, there you go.
Shoot. Look at that. What are you talking to sales?
I'll talk to him.
Now you gotta buy it because I can't catch him. Okay. We'll do the first one.
Hey, stay cool.
We'll do the first one.
No. Just adds on.
What adds on?
No, I just did that. No, I'm fine.
Okay. Well, it's fun talking to you.
It looks fine.
Thanks for letting me refresh my brain, make me sound smart. I don't know many things. I know a little bit about this, so it's always fun when I can show off. Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. Take it easy. Record the entire thing. That's a great example of why to just leave when people aren't interested, so you don't waste your entire day. Holy cow, that's insane.